Okay folks, welcome back once more to The Long Dark, and first off I have to apologise for what has been quite a long absence. It's been a couple of weeks. To cut a long story short, my dad was taken into hospital. He's fine now, he's back out, but obviously that was slightly worrying time and shuttling backwards and forwards between one town and another. So yeah, it wasn't great, and it's kind of limited my recording time a little bit. But he's back at home now, and all is doing very well. So we are back once more, and I am now desperately going to try and catch up. And I'm going to try and put a new schedule in place. Obviously, I'm playing The Long Dark and I'm playing Subnautica, and I really want to get back into Kerbal Space Program as well. One of the big problems I've got with Kerbal Space Program is the videos take a lot longer to make. So they've really been hit quite badly by the fact that I've not had any time for the last few weeks, so I really am a bit behind on sorting those ones out. But I really want to get back on track with the career playthrough for Kerbal Space Program, and hopefully a few kind of little tutorial-y things like the mission series. I'd quite like to have another crack at carrying on with that. And then a few other bits and pieces as well. I want to try and get to a point where I can release videos 6 days a week. That's the plan. And potentially more than one video a day. And obviously, I've always said this channel is not just gaming, there's other things on there as well. So I want to try and increase a few extra little bits to throw in there, which are not necessarily gaming related as well. So yeah, there's a lot coming up. I am going to be trying to get back on track with things after a few weeks off. But right now we are in the Long Dark, and we are exactly where we left off at the end of video number 14. We are here in the coastal house in Coastal Highway, and the plan is to get ourselves to the town site. Now, I don't know what I'm carrying. I honestly can't remember. I think I've got a bit of carrying capacity, yep. So we're not exactly overburdened at the moment. I can't remember if I've looted this house. I think I have. I'm fairly sure I've looted this house. Yes, I believe I have. So, yeah, we have. Okay, so I think what we're probably going to do then, we've got 12 hours of daylight remaining. So what I'm going to do is head outside, and we'll try and make our way down to the town site. So let's leave the house, and we shall make our way down to the town site. Now, I believe I was being chased by wolves when I ran in here, so obviously I've got to be a little bit wary of that. My memory serves me correctly, so we may as well make our way down the road, see how we get on. But yes, Long Dark news. There has been a new update that's gone out on the test branch, which I believe has happened in the last few days, as I'm recording this. It's called, there's a wolf there. That's not what the update's called, by the way. It's I actually forgotten what it's called. What was it called? It's completely slipped my mind, and I only looked at it 5 minutes ago. Something cartographer is what it was. What the update's called. Oh, great, this isn't going well. We're off to a great start. We've got a blizzard. We have a wolf. I'm going to get back to the house. Can I get back to the house? Let's get back to the house. Or the trailer, one of the... Probably the house would be better. The wolf is running. That's slightly worrying. I always get concerned when wolves start to run. Oh, the weather's gone very badly downhill here. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get back to the house. So we've just done a little circle, and we'll get back in the house. And we'll see if we can sit out this storm before we make our way to the town site. That was, in many ways, a bad bit of timing, but a good bit of timing as well, that I wasn't too far away and I could get myself back. But yes, the cryptographer update, I have totally forgotten what it was actually called. But yeah, it's very little detail that I've been able to track down at the moment. It is on the test branch. They don't tend to release too much information to start with, obviously because of spoilers. And the existence of the test branch is purely because they don't want to spoil the game for people who don't want to know what's coming in advance, so they don't tend to mention too much. I don't play the test branch, again because I don't want to put spoilers in there. So it's just a case of kind of waiting and seeing what happens, really. Past time for 4 hours, just see if we can get ourselves through this storm. But one thing that it has mentioned with this update is that it will remove all existing save games. which is unusual. I think it's fair to say that Hinterland don't normally do that. Run out of water. Hinterland don't normally do that. I think it's fair to say. I'll sleep for a few hours. They don't normally do that. Normally they preserve save games between updates. So I can only assume that it's quite a major gameplay change, and that's the reason why the save games won't be going through. So that's going to be very interesting. I'll try and find out a bit more information about this update. Mainly what kind of things are going to be included in there. With the word cartographer in there, it logically means some sort of mapping tool, I assume, will be included in the update. And possibly the final kind of bits of story play. Some people have been talking about multiplayer, which I haven't really properly looked into it or read the forum threads, but it does kind of make me think that it could be introducing online multiplayer gameplay. Oh, for goodness sake, wolves, go away! This is getting annoying. It could be introducing multiplayer gameplay into the Long Dark, which has the potential to be interesting. That's kind of something that's linked to story mode, so whether that will come out with story mode or whether you'll be able to do that in sandbox prior to that, I don't know. That could potentially be quite interesting to see the dynamic between different players interacting online, so that could be very interesting if that is indeed in there. So I'm going to try and find out a little bit more information ready for the next video, so we can kind of have a think about what's going to happen in this update. But that's all the news we have at the moment. We still don't have... Oh, go away! Oh, can we just brave Sir Robin it? These wolves are getting annoying. Let's just carry on. Let's brave Sir Robin it and run away. We're quite a long way from the town site, that's the thing. I'm out of sprint, but hopefully I've got out of range. There we go, we're safe. Oh god, there's another one there. Oh, there's wolves everywhere. Nice doggies. Yeah, so that's about all I've got at the moment. I'm going to do a little bit more research into it, just see if there's anything more information out there about what's in the update. But I think the aim, I assume, then will be to push that one out there. It could well be that this is actually the big one, but I don't think it is. I don't think this is introducing story mode. I think it's probably going to be a precursor to it, and then they did mention, I'm sure they did, that there'll be one more update to Sandbox before story mode, and I assume that that's this update, and then we'll be looking at story mode, so we're getting pretty close. But obviously the big key thing about this update is that it does wipe existing game saves. And obviously if you're in the test branch, it's already nuked your game saves. If you're not in the test branch, which I'm not, we've got a little bit longer, but presumably when the update goes out, it will destroy the saved games, which obviously is a bit of a problem if we've got something like this going. So it may well be we end up with a slightly premature termination of this series and having to start a fresh one when we get this update come out. But I'm going to keep my eye open. One of the things I'm going to try and do is keep on top of these things so I can get straight on there and get videos made and released as soon as things come out. One of my biggest struggles I've still got is this upload speed on my internet connection, which is utter garbage. It takes so long for a video to upload. A single video takes about 6 hours to upload, and it completely kills the internet connection while it's doing it, so we can't do anything else. If I was on my own, it wouldn't be so much of a problem, but obviously we're living with my partner. She uses the internet as well and watches streaming films and things, which is absolutely fine. But it does mean obviously that she can't do that whilst I'm uploading, and it limits uploading times, and it's not great. So I need a better internet connection, basically.
And I can eat anything.
Well, that's handy because there's a deer carcass here. Can we get some meat off it? 32 minutes and a hide. Can I get the hide? How long is that going to take me? 1 hour and 2. I'm going to chance it. We're not too cold. In fact, we're above freezing, so I'm going to go with that. Perfect. Oh, we've got the ominous music and a nice sunset. I do like the sunsets in the Long Dark. There's a feather there as well. We'll have that. And another couple. Let's grab some feathers. Use these for crafting arrows later in the game. Okay, so we've got some more of the buildings here, which I don't believe we've been in any of these buildings, so let's just go and have a quick nosy around. I don't think we have. These are on the edge of the town site. I don't believe we've been in any of these, so let's jump in and have a quick loot. Okay, so here we are on the edge of the town site. So, first building, let's have a look, see what we got. So, nothing in the oven. Nothing in here. Oh, come on, there must be something.
I need something to eat.
Yeah, don't worry about it, we'll be fine. It's coming up to darkness now anyway, so we oh!
Prepared for anything.
Tomato soup. Right, anything in the microwave? Nope. Bit disappointing so far. Anything in the fridge? Well, whoever lived in this house wasn't very good at keeping supplies in. 10 sardines down on the bottom shelf there. Okay, well that was a bit disappointing. Let's have a quick nosy around the rest of the house then. Probably could do with getting out my storm lantern at this point. We are heading for darkness now, so we've only got 2 hours of daylight left. It is a bit dark in here, so let's make sure we don't miss anything. Oh, accelerant, that might be handy. Fire starting skill's still not great. Sewing kit. Obviously all these things we can break down for firewood. Oh, a flare, we'll have that. And some beef jerky. Some boots, trail boots. I will take them. Part of my standard practice of picking up absolutely everything. Now this house has a fireplace in it, which is very useful. See the firewoods? In fact, part of me is wondering whether to use this house as a base rather than a gas station, you know. I've never thought of doing that. We've got some wool long johns. Have a look, see if they're better than anything we're wearing already. I always tend to go for warmth rather than lightness and speed. I tend to go for warmth. I don't mind trekking slowly across the wilderness so long as I don't freeze to death on the way. Right, so what else we've got going? Oh, that's a random place to keep a flare. And a random place to keep some matches. And some very random places to keep stuff here. Water, we need that. We've run out of water, saves us having to make any, although we can anyway. I think that's pretty much everything in here. And we have a sweatshirt, some soda. Anything lurking under the bed? Doesn't look like it. Nope, not that I can see. And anything in the cabinet? A fishing line. And that's it. Okay, so not much in here. But we've looted a few things. And I am kind of tempted to use this house as my base. Rather than using the gas station like I normally do. Simply because it's got a fireplace in it, it's slightly further away, you get lots of wolves and things lurking around by the gas station. This one you don't tend to, so I don't know why I've never thought of that before actually. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that I think. So, let's just have a quick look and see if there's anything we can drop. Can we break these? No, I need a hatchet to break the chairs down, that's a bit annoying. Okay, is there anything then that we can drop? That we don't need to... Oh yes, we've got the deer hide, so we'll drop that. And we'll pop that over in the corner to start curing. We've got a lot of flares. We probably don't need to be carrying quite that many, so let's get rid of a few of those. And we'll get rid of that sewing kit. And I've also got a ruined flare that I don't need to be carrying around either. So let's just pop these up here. It's a bit annoying that the flares don't just disappear from your inventory, but I suppose that is more realistic, that, you know, in reality, they're not just going to magically disappear into nothing, they are going to still physically exist. Okay, sewing kit. Anything else that we can ditch? Food-wise, we need to cook those, we'll do that in a minute. Right, clothing. So, what have we got here? Well, actually, to be fair, what we're already wearing is generally better than what we just picked up. The only possible exceptions are going to be these woolen long johns. Yes, they seem to be better. Okay, let's just bring up the clothing system. And we'll just go through and double check. Yeah, what we're wearing is already better than what we've just picked up. The only difference is going to be... Oh, I can put both on. Hey, that's even better. Right, I'm going to do that then. So we've got 2 sets of underwear on, long johns. We've got 2 sets of trousers. We've got multiple pairs of socks. Warm climbing socks. New woolen socks. Decent woolen socks. Yeah, we'll stick with that. New woolen socks we're wearing. Warm climbing socks. Socks. Yeah, okay, we'll stick with that. Boots. I think we're going to be sticking with my mucklooks. Protection wise, trail boots better. Weight wise, trail boots better, but warmth wise, they're not. So I'm going to stick with my mucklooks. And we're going to go with that, I think. So yeah, actually that's pretty good loadout. I'm happy with that. It does reduce my sprinting, as you can see, but it gives me a substantial warmth bonus, and that's what I'm more interested in. I don't mind trekking slowly, as long as I don't freeze to death, so I'm going to go with that. Right, so I think we are pretty much sorted. Let's just drop the bits of clothes that we're not going to be wearing or using. So we'll drop that, we'll drop those, and we'll drop those. So that reduces our weight. We'll just leave those. Normally I'll tidy things up neatly, but I'm just going to leave those in a little pile. No point mucking around with those too much. Okay, so my storm lantern is running a bit low on fuel, as you can tell by the fact it's flickering. So let's extinguish it. It's going to go pretty dark now. And we need to make some water, because we are a bit short on water, and we need to cook up that meat that we have. So let's get this fire lit. Just a short fire, just to do a bit of water and cook this meat, and then we'll go to bed. Weather's sounding a bit rough outside, a bit windy. Obviously we're right in the middle of the town site, so the plan now will be to loot the town site, really. Go through the town site, bring everything we can find back here, and then we'll start shuttling it back over to the mines and taking it back to... I was about to ask the exact same question. Why didn't that work? Okay, well I can't bother mucking around, so we've got some accelerant, so let's use it. Then the thing is going to light. There we go. Let's chuck... We might as well chuck a piece of this fur on, so that gives us a decent fire. And let's make our venison. Cook our venison, so we'll cook 2 pieces and then I'll eat them both, I think. You're going to have to... Excuse me, I'm going to have to keep shuffling around because I've hurt my back. So to... compound everybody else, all the other health issues we have at the moment, I've also gone and hurt my back, so... okay, I'm just going to make 1 litre of water. I'm not envisaging being here for very long, so... I'm not going to make a big stockpile of water here, I'm just going to make a small amount of water. That'll do, and the rest will just keep us warm for a bit. Right, okay, so let's eat this venison. I'm going to eat both pieces. One's a full piece, one's a slightly smaller piece. That'll give us a good calorie store, and then I'm obviously going to drink some water. There we go, so that's that all done. And then we shall go to sleep. So let's holster my storm lantern, which is almost out of fuel. And then we're going to go to bed. Now we've got 10 hours of darkness remaining. We're not particularly winded, so I'm going to go for 6 hours and see if I can do that. So let's try and sleep through for 6 hours. I suspect I'm going to wake up fully rested before I get to 6 hours. Yes, I only made it for 4. Okay, so we'll pass time. We'll pass time for 5 hours, which will get us almost to daylight. And then I'll probably just sleep for a couple of hours to get us well into daylight, just to get through that coldest part of the day very first thing in the morning. Okay, and I need to drink before we do anything else, so let's drink some water so we don't lose condition. And I'm going to sleep for, see if it'll let me do 3 hours. See if it'll let me sleep for 3 hours, because that'll then bring us well into daylight, get us past that really cold point right at the beginning of the day. There we go. Well, we woke up fully rested, so we didn't quite make 3 hours, but never mind, that'll do. Right, okay, so we're actually in pretty good shape right now. So this is going to be our base of operations whilst we're here. So let's head outside and head to the next house and see what we get. And obviously the town site is a bit dangerous because we've got lots of wolves and things, and the bear wanders around here as well, so we've got to watch out for that. But weather conditions are not brilliant. Okay, so this house is our base house. Let's go over here to this one and see what's what in here. We're probably not going to find very much in these houses, but we'll have a go. See what we've got. Okay, so anything in the oven? Nah. This has definitely been balanced. Of course, I'm also playing in Stalker, so obviously I'm going to find even less than if I was in one of the other difficulty modes. So
Nobody needs this anymore.
matches always come in handy. Okay, nothing in the cabinets. We've got these three over here. Let's have a quick look. Nope. Food management is one of the hardest things to do in Stalker mode because there's a lot less of it around. Anything in the microwave? We have got some coffee. We'll have that. Anything in the fridge?
What have we here?
Water. That always comes in handy. And nothing in the freezer. Okay, so nothing in here. Anything over on these shelves? Got some newsprint, which we can turn, obviously, into tinder. Nothing there, nothing there. Anything in this here cabinet? Nope. It's one of those awkward ones where I can't really see properly, but I've run out of fuel. Oops, sports socks. I didn't actually mean to pick those up because they're not in as good condition as one I'm wearing, so... A decent hoodie. Okay, I'll hang on to that because that might be in better condition than the one I'm wearing. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. Worn wool shirt. He's a lumberjack and he's okay, so we'll keep that one.
I'll take it.
Oh, there's plenty of clothes in here. Okay, we'll take the. I'll tell you what. We'll take all these clothes. We'll figure it all out when we get back over to the other building. Oh, actually, no, I might do it before I go back over. Save carrying them. A light shell. Okay, well, we'll see how that pans out. Anything under the bed? They do have a habit of hiding things under the bed. Anything under the bed. Bandage, that's handy. Anything in the cabinet? Antiseptic. Nothing in there, nothing in there, nothing in the shower. And, of course, there's some water in here, which we need. It's part of the reason why I didn't make very much water, because I know there's plenty of it lying about in these houses. Okay, let's just have a quick look then through the clothing that we now have. The sports socks obviously are not going to be very good, so we'll ditch those, I think. Decent hoodie versus decent hoodie, so that's no good either. I'm wearing a parka. Now the light shell, I think I'm going to stick with the parka. And what we got here, the Mariner's pea coat. Yeah, so I'm going to stick with what I've got, I think. So let's save a little bit of carrying capacity. We'll ditch what we are carrying. So we don't need that. We don't need that. And we are not going to be wearing that either. And I didn't look at the worn wool shirt, but I think it's probably already in worse condition. Actually, it's better than the sweatshirt we're wearing. So yes, we shall wear this woolen shirt. So that gives us slightly better protection. Okay, excellent. So let's drop this decent sweatshirt that we're carrying, and sports socks, we don't need those either. Right, okay, so there's our clothing setup. We've just got a little pile of clothes on the floor there. Lots of clothes in this building. We're not going to take them with us, so we'll leave them here. Save carrying them about. And that actually then leaves me with enough carrying capacity to just go off straight to the next building rather than have to go back first. So let's make our way to the next part of the town site and see what's what. Obviously got to look out for wolves. Many, many wolves lurk around here. Here we are. I'm sure there is actually another building here as part of this little collection, but I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so we've got some burnt out buildings. Oh dear. I can hear barking. That's not good. There he is over there. We'll head into the gas station then. We'll be fine in here. And the gas station is always a good source of stuff as well. So we've got some condensed milk. We have got herbal tea. We've got pork and beans. We've got matches. Anything in here? Yeah, it's a bit strange that these doors don't open the whole way, you know, because in reality they would. Dog food. Beef jerky. Some newsprints. Newsprint roll, so we've got plenty of tinder. That one's locked, but we have a pry bar, so let's have a look what's inside it. A rifle cleaning kit. Fair enough. I've already got about 3 of those, but never mind. So that probably won't make the return trip. Worn leather shoes. I'm not going to bother taking those. I know I normally take absolutely everything, but I'm not going to bother taking those because they really are of very little interest to us. Potable water source. Let's take some water.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
I know we're encumbered, don't worry about it. Okay, so we've got sewing kits. What's in the medicine shelf? Water purification tablets, they come in handy. We can use those instead of having to boil the water when we melt snow, so we can save ourselves quite a bit of time there. We've got some sodas in the fridge. Cardboard boxes we can make into tinder, some flares. I've actually got quite a bit of tinder now, so I'm not going to bother too much. Let's have a quick look behind the counter, see what's back here. Very little. Anything in the cash register?
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Painkillers. Strange things to keep in the cash register, but never mind. Okay, so let's go and have a look here. Now, this is obviously where the workbenches and workshop is. There's a pry bar there, which I'm not going to bother taking because the one I've got is in good condition, so we'll leave it there. What's that down there? Oh, it's just a shadow. Hacksaw. Okay,
Stuff will come in handy.
that's handy. We can cut down metal now to make scrap metal, which we can use in the forge and for crafting. Basin, potable water source. Oh, okay, that's different. That's new. Work gloves. Okay, I'll take those. Anything else?
I'll take it.
A solitary rifle cartridge. A hatchet! Excellent! That's one of the things I've been looking for. It's in really good condition as well. Perfect! Okay, that completes our tool set. We now have a hatchet and a hunting knife, so we can break down things for firewood now. Increase our firewood sources. Obviously we have a radio, which doesn't work. Medicine cabinet.
I think I can use this.
Antibiotics, that's good. An energy bar. And what's in the drawers? Some cloth. I might do a little bit of clothing repair in the near future. Okay, and in the back room we have got some quality tools.
Anything right now.
Don't worry about it. Lockers. Scrap metal. Right. I'm not going to bother taking it simply because I'm not going to use it at the moment. And I can now get scrap metal quite easily as I have a hacksaw, so... Oh, another storm lantern. Okay, we'll have that.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
The can opener. I'm pretty over encumbered right now, but I'm not worrying too much about that because we've only got to go a short distance. Nothing in the drawers. Nothing in the drawers. Nothing in the drawers. Nothing in the drawers. Anything in the filing cabinets? Oh, a sewing kit.
Come in handy.
Some more scrap metal, which I'm going to leave. I know I do normally go round and my philosophy is to gather everything and take it back to base, but this isn't my base, remember. My base is on Pleasant Valley. This is my kind of outlying base, if you like. So I'm only going to be taking stuff that's actually of real interest that I'm going to take back to Pleasant Valley. Everything else I'm probably going to leave behind. So things that I don't really need right now, I am probably just going to leave where they are. I know I do. Oh, another storm lantern. That's kind of cool. That gives me 3 storm lanterns over here, plus about 4 back at base.
Nobody needs this anymore.
I'm going to leave those because I know I've already got some somewhere. And, Ooh, what's lurking under here with some peaches by the looks of it, unless that's an empty can. Is that an empty can? That's an empty can. Put there merely to tease us. Anything in this container?
This stuff will come in handy.
Another flare. I'm carrying an awful lot of them around at the moment. And a spare bedroll. Now, I am going to take that because that's quite useful. But, of course, that really does punch me well over my carrying weight. But I'll hopefully be okay with that. We've got 9 hours of daylight remaining. However, we have no time remaining. We've hit the end of the... We've hit the end of our time limit on this video. But we've done really, really well in this video. We have gone through Coastal Highway. We've headed over to the coastal house over at the edge of the town site. We're going to use that as our base while we're here on Coastal Highway. And we've also looted the gas station, which is one of the biggest sections of the highway. So an awful lot of things we've found in here. Found a lot of clothing. We've swapped out a few of our clothing items. We found a lot of tools and equipment. We finally now have a hatchet, which is going to be pretty critical for us. And we're pretty much ready to head back over to the house and ditch everything we've got and just go and loot the rest of the town site before we decide what we're going to take back to Pleasant Valley. As I say, my philosophy here has been slightly different. Normally I do collect absolutely everything and take it to my base. But remember, this isn't my base. My base is on Pleasant Valley. I've got a long trek over to Pleasant Valley, and I am probably still going to have to do a couple of trips. So anything that's absolutely not vital that I can get hold of from Pleasant Valley, like, you know, clothing that I can break down into cloth or scrap metal, which I can now harvest as I have a hacksaw, there's no point taking it, so I'm going to leave it here. But I'm going to take things that are useful, so food, tools, or anything that's a bit unique, or things that I don't have, or things that might break. That's why I'm taking all the storm lanterns, just in case, because it gives me extra fuel and things like that. So, I am going to say thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again, and it will be very, very soon, for video number 16 in our Long Dark series, which is going to end up, I think, being truncated by this update, but we'll keep going, we'll see how far we get. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again very, very soon.